Hello everybody, this is George Lopez here in LSL at Tech. In this quick short screencast, I will go ahead and show you how you can use filters in your email to help you stay organized and to help you prioritize what you need to do. So one of the things that was really important for me when I was in the classroom was emails that were coming to me from my principal or vice principal. So that might be something that you may want to do. So what I have done here is, because I am not in the classroom and I have a director, my boss is Josh. So what I did is I went ahead and created a label here, and you might already have a whole bunch of labels on here. If you don't know how to create labels, there is a different activity and a different screencast that can show you how to work with labels. We're going to go ahead and work here on filtering out some of this email using these labels. So in this case, notice, like I said, I have a label here called Josh. And when I click on it right now, you'll see there's nothing in it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my inbox and I'm going to go ahead and search here for Josh Harris. And what it'll do is it'll bring up every email that has Josh Harris, either from him to him, or maybe it's in the body or in the subject. So it looks everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click this little downward pointing arrow here for more options. And what I do is I don't want an email that has Josh Harris in there. Instead, I want all emails from Josh Harris. So here is his email. So I want every email that comes from him to be put, to be filtered, and to be put, to be labeled with the Josh label here that I've created. So as you can see, there's a lot of options that you have on here. You can select subject, time period, attachment, and so forth. I'm not going to really do anything with that. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on here, search first. I always like searching first. And what it does is it'll search all the emails that have Josh Harris, that come from Josh Harris on it, so quite a few of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here, click down the bottom arrow, and again, I'm going to go ahead and I always like testing my filter by doing a search before I apply it. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and create the filter. Okay, so it'll take a second here, but then you get these options on here. Again, a lot of options here. So you need to go ahead and you need to modify these labels, in the best way that will work for you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that any email that comes from Josh, from my principal or my supervisor here, to be marked as important. So I'm going to click here. I want it to be marked important. The second thing is every email that comes in, I want it to apply the Josh label, anything that comes from him. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to find the label that I created with his name on it. There it is. And there's one more piece on there that I think is important. It says also apply filtering to matching conversations. So if you check this box out, every email that has ever come from Josh Harris in the past and moving on forward will be these rules will apply. It'll mark them as important and it'll label them as Josh. If you just want everything going forward to be marked as important and add the label Josh to it, then you don't need to click that off. I do want to go back as far as I've known Josh since I've been in the district to mark all those emails as important and to label them with the Josh label. So once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and create the filter. It'll take Google a little bit of time to do its magic, but one thing that you will notice is that, first of all these emails here that I currently have that are from Josh have been labeled, have the Josh label on here, the orange and green, and also everything that comes from Josh also has this label that indicates that it's important. So notice that right now I'm in my inbox, but if I go anywhere else, like let's go to look at the Josh folder on here. Now all these emails have been put underneath this label, or some of you may refer to these as folders, especially if you come from a different mail service. So they're all in there, and I notice that they're all marked as important, right? Everything that's in there. And it goes it follows the rules that I created for this. All right, so that's one way that you might want to use filtering and labels. Okay, another way that you may want to use this is for special events. Maybe your school might be having a special event. You are coordinating something with the team or as a site, and you want to make sure that all these emails are put together so that you can work more efficiently and take care of business with regards to that event. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and go to another email, and I'm going to go ahead and do that in a minute here. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new label. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to create, sorry, a new filter on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on here. The filter that I'm going to create here is going to be for an event that we're having. So we're going to call it science. Maybe your school's having a science night. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and search that. So obviously when I do science night, I get all these emails that have the word science and the word night in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this downward arrow, and notice what it does is I'm looking for any email. It looks in the who it's from, to who it's from, the subject, in the text, in attachments. So it actually finds the word science night, and if it finds it, then it finds it in the search. So that's what this has created on here. So what I'm going to do now though is I'm going to go ahead and create a filter. Okay, once again, this time I'm not going to mark it as important, but you might, since if it's an event that you're working towards, you might mark it as important. I'm not going to go ahead and mark it as important, and instead I'm going to go ahead and select here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose label, the label that I want here. Notice that there isn't one here. So if this is an event, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new label. All right, so the label I'm going to create is going to be Science Night. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create the label. Notice that it added it down here. Labels are in alphabetical order in case you didn't know that. So here's Science Night. And then notice how it's going to apply the label Science Night to any email that comes in that has the word science and night together. Now here's something else that I notice on here is that it tells me, if it asks me if I want to apply this filter to all my emails, and if I do, it's telling me that it's going to affect 14 conversations. I don't necessarily want to go back in time to apply this filter or this label, so I'm not going to check that off, and instead I'm going to create the filter. And what this will do is any mail that comes in from when I create the filter forward will be labeled with Science Night in it. So I'm going to go ahead and create the filter, and the filter has been created. Okay, so I have my filter on here. So I want to show you how this works. So I'm going to go to another account and send me an email. So a new email is going to be coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and send it here. All right, it'll be a few seconds on here to send that email, but in a little bit it's going to show up here in my inbox, and when it comes in it should be labeled with the label Science Night. So let's see if this comes in quickly enough so that we don't have to waste too much time on him. Refreshing my email, seeing if that helps bring it in. Okay, still not in here. I'm going to refresh it one more time and seeing if I can get that email to come in. All right. One last time to check and see if the email comes in. Here it is. Notice this email came in from a tech account. The subject is Science Night event, and notice how it labeled it with Science Night. So I hope this short little screencast has shown you how labels can help you streamline your email and be more efficient. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.